Happy Monday, it's the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Monday co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Is it a happy Monday, Ian? Really? Are you sure?
I sure hope so. I'm trying to send out positive energy here.
Okay. I'll
start the week off with a huzzah instead of...
Start the week off with a wahoo! Like Klonoa or Mario. Either one. They're both the same, right? No, they're not.
I suddenly felt the wrath of all the Klonoa fans who finally got their due with the re-release, just saying, "Don't take this from us, Kyle."
Hashtag Klonoa sweep. Oh man. I'm good with Klonoa. I'm ready for Klonoa. I want to play the re-release. I need to do that eventually at some point. I'll pick it up eventually. It's a delightful games, both of them. So yes, but anyway, we're not here to talk about Klonoa. We're here to talk about another furry mascot character. Sometimes
we're here to answer questions that sometimes don't involve Sonic. Most times they do.
Sometimes they don't. It's rare. It's rare. Sometimes they involve like Eggman or Tails or Knuckles or some other characters. Maybe they involve like Amy or but usually they involve Sonic.
These questions come to us from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members. They have all bought priority, and thus we're getting to them first here on this happy Monday.
We're going to have a good time, dang it! This is going to be a good Monday. Whether you want it to be or not, it's gonna be. All right. We're going to start off with this question here from Tempo. How do you feel about the "my friends are my power" trope? I'm among the many that feel the trope is far too safe to rely on to tell a compelling story, although it can be done. But with how true it tends to hold in real life, it almost seems unavoidable. Where do you stand? Do you try to be clever when it pops up? Or would you rather avoid it entirely if possible and tell heroic stories in different ways?
I think it's a completely valid approach, and it's a very wholesome one.
The power of friendship. It's amusing. It's entertaining. I like it just because it's funny. But it's also a very uplifting, like, yeah! But it's also funny.
Especially in this day and age. You need to count on your friends and support each other.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's been kind of overplayed lately, and I'm probably guilty of that myself. A trope itself is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just how you use it.
Right.
And if you trot it out as, here's my win button, it's the friends I made along the way, that's a bad use of the trope. That's a poor application of the tool. If your story is built around someone who comes to understand their own weaknesses and that they can rely on others, if it's a story of various people coming together for a greater cause, there's a number of ways to approach it. But the fundamental idea of we are stronger together and I am a stronger person because of my support group, that's great. That's a good story to be told.
Mm-hmm.
You can just do it well, or you can do it lazily.
Sonic does it very frequently.
Yeah.
Sonic Heroes, let's see, Generations, I think, did something very similar. I'm trying to think of some others. Like it's a pretty common trope though with Sonic, but it works.
It's the finale to the Neo Metal Revenge story.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's kind of deconstructed in Metal Virus because you don't have friends no more. Look how weak he becomes.
Your friends have become metal. They are no longer your friends. I like it. Oh, yeah, 06, I suppose, even though they got retconned, yeah. Yeah, it's common these days, and that's okay. But, I mean, it's another tool in the toolbox. You can either use it well, or you can use it poorly, you know. Just another thing. Here's a question from Thievius. Do you think it's time Eggman expanded on his metal copy family of robots, such as Metal Amy, Tails, Shadow, Silver, Chaotix, etc.? If not, why? If so, how do you think our heroes would fare against that kind of threat?
On the one hand, the knee-jerk reaction is yes, absolutely, because they would look sick.
Yeah.
And And I love my evil double trope, and I want to see all the new toys, and it would just look cool and watch all the action figures smash against each other. On the other hand, the no fun adult version is, what purpose would that serve narratively outside of this is sick? You know, does Eggman view Charmy as a high enough level threat that he has to recreate it and perfect it in his own style? Because that's what makes Metal Sonic cool, is that he's all the raw power of Sonic distilled into something heartless and fully under Eggman's control. The complete antithesis of the hero. He is a study of Sonic by proxy of when you remove the soul from the hero. And you can do that for everybody, but it's really one note. Because when they're soulless, they're just cold killer machines. And
it kind of loses its specialness, you know?
Yeah. Like, Metal Knuckles is freaking cool. I feel like Tails is due. Shadow would make sense, but then the list keeps growing and growing, and it diminishes from Metal Sonic himself, you know?
Yeah.
So, that said, man, a Metal Shadow would look sick as all get out, you know? There's so many cool things you could do, but what purpose does it serve narratively? What's the long term outside of saying, here's a checkbox next to every character, they get their metal version?
Got a Metal Amy with just a massive hammer, like spiky hammer. It's like, oh, oh boy.
A metal blaze that just has this constant burning flame shooting out of the top of her head.
Oh no.
Because she's basically a walking diesel engine.
Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, it's so freaking cool. It's awesome. It sounds great, but I don't know, man. We had the roboticized masters, at least in the crossover, so we know kind of how cool it can look, but you could come up with something. You could come up with a justification. You could.
Well, the justification is it would rule. It would look so cool, but...
Well, okay then, that's fine. That's all you really need sometimes. Like, why does Sonic exist? Like, to make money, that's the whole reason he exists. I mean, that's a justification right there. Why would metal versions of the characters exist? Because you can make more toys and make more money.
Kyle, I'm trying to show some level of restraint here.
That's why I'm here, to be unrestrained. And not really. Whatever. I don't know, man. I just want the medals, man. Give me the medals.
I know. And like, if Sega trotted them out tomorrow and said, here they are, I would not complain.
I know, it's like super forms for everybody. I know, you can't give everybody super forms because it loses specialness and but they'd be so freaking cool.
I know.
Oh, well. Anyway, all right, let's get into this question here from The Might of Gabora. Hey, since everything is officially canon, weird admittedly, in Sonic, does that make every form of Sonic media, including the comics, manga, and novels, a parallel universe if it doesn't align with the games, hence maintaining the status quo?
Number one, don't take the mantra of everything is canon as canon. It's not a rule. It's not an official statement.
Don't take it so literally.
It's more of along the lines of, don't worry too much about canonicity,
yeah.
Canonicity?
Sure.
Conjugating on the BumbleKast. This is coming from someone who's stressed over this in the past, who has lost sleep over making everything fit. It doesn't. So just accept that. Accept that you are not in control, that the universe moves in ways that we will never fully understand.
Especially the Sonic universe.
Everything is canon. But anyway, if you want to interpret the Sonic media empire like that, I think it makes perfect sense to say that all the various iterations are different permutations across the multiverse. I mean, that's my personal take on it. Is it official? No. Does that matter? Not really. Because I don't think those threads are ever going to be connected and wound together.
Yeah, pretty much. If you're wondering how Sonic eats and breeds and other science facts, then I guess repeat to yourself. It's just a franchise. You should probably just relax. Here's a question from Steph Cube. I really wish there was a character similar to Tangle in the main Sonic games. Sonic could have another Amiga his age who isn't a double agent or lives in another dimension, but rather she was a regular member of the team and went on adventures with Sonic often. Wouldn't it be great to see her together with Tails and Knuckles, and for Amy to no longer be the only girl in the main group? Would you like it too, Ian?
Well, that's why we invented her for the comic series. And I mean, she was embraced by the mobile side of things. Could it grow from there? Who knows?
I'm ready.
But yes, it'd be nice if it did.
I'm ready. I'm so ready. Here's a question from Speedweed. So in Metroid Prime 1, there exists Red Phazon, which was just a deadlier, highly energetic variant of Phazon that spawned fission Metroids. Prime 3 kind of hinted at other variants through some health pickups and environmental details in Phase, but they never truly expanded on the concept. At risk of making it a power level trope, what would you have liked to have seen in potential Phazon variants?
I wouldn't, personally, because to me that feels like multicolored kryptonite, which is silly. And I understand we're talking about a perfectly humanoid alien who grew up on a planet made of kryptonite and is fine, but then gets sick when he's on Earth from it. It's silly. I understand that. But the fact that different colors did different things to him physically and mentally, I just thought was a little goofy. And I feel like the same applies to Phazon. I mean, for within the realms of a video game, it makes sense that different strains, different frequencies, wavelengths, or whatever can be used in different ways for ammo or health or such and such. That's fine. But I wouldn't want to make it too on the nose for Metroid. I feel, because Metroid, it is a very colorful series, but it's also presented in a not very colorful way, if that makes any sense. I mean, sure, once Samus gets all suited up, she's, bright orange and yellow, and she's shooting bright colored beams at brightly colored monsters, but they don't feel cuddly and technicolor like a Care Bear. It feels like you're fighting a bunch of very horrible poison dart frogs. The colors don't make you feel comfortable. They make you feel on edge. It's like, oh, this thing is very bright and coming right for me. It doesn't look pretty. It looks like a target.
It has a very different tone than what you might think based on just looking at the color palette.
So having multicolored Phazon, I feel like gets a little too much like, she's eating Skittles. And oh, by the way, this is a highly mutative, corruptive, horrible, evil substance. But you can also taste the rainbow. It's, I don't know. Maybe there's a way to do it right and I'm just wrong. I don't know.
I mean, I agree with you, but I also think that the Kryptonite variants are kind of fun. I kind of like them. They're very silly. It's very comic booky. It fits, but it's also very silly. But there's some fun to be had, like with Red Kryptonite especially. Like, you always like the evil doppelgangers, and hey, why not turn your hero into evil for a little bit? That's fun. There's potential in that one. It's overdone. It's dumb, but
a quick tangent. I do like the core idea of Kryptonite that Clark grew up so acclimatized to Earth that the natural properties of his home world that he never got to be fully exposed to are toxic in his current habitat.
Right.
That's an interesting bit of super science, which I don't know if that would hold up to any kind of actual scrutiny, but whatever, comic books. And it's kind of poignant and tragic that, the one piece of his homeworld that he still has, and it kills him.
Mm-hmm.
That much as a narrative construct is neat. It's just when you start adding colors with different properties, then it's like, now you're kind of losing the thread. But maybe that's me.
I mean, it gets silly. Obviously, it gets very silly. But the same thing happens to Kara, though, and she's spent most of her childhood on Krypton, so it's weird.
There you go.
All right, here's a question from Sonic. Ian Flynn, it was recently stated in an interview that you were writing the dialogue of Sonic Frontiers and not the actual overall story itself. Why did you not clarify this earlier? People thought you were involved in the whole story, so what's going on?
Because, as it says on every YouTube video for the past few months, I'm under NDA. I can't talk about it. I still can't talk about it. So all I can do is direct you to the interviews on IGN and Game Informer and whoever else has put stuff out there. And, just go off of that because I can't talk about it. It is a little confusing, sure, because it's not cut and dry like so many other assignments, but it wasn't just the dialogue. But again, it's all in the various interviews with Izuka-san and myself and Kishimoto-san and all that. So go read those, go watch those, and I'll just sit here kind of going
Hashtag grumble grumble. All right, here's a question from Sequoia. Is there a limit on how long Mimic can shapeshift, or is there a level of focus he has to maintain to continue shapeshifting? Like, if there was a reason he had to shapeshift as one of the main casts for a week straight without changing back once, would he be able to do it? And would he be able to maintain his shapeshifted form if he were to go to sleep?
I don't know. That hasn't been fully explored. I imagine it's something like tensing a muscle. And he, being very good at his job, would be able to maintain that shape for a while. But I would think that he'd have to rest every now and again. Whether or not he can maintain that in his sleep is, I don't know, something to possibly explore. Like, is he disciplined enough that he can maintain that shape while unconscious? Does he never fully go under because he's just that paranoid? Or does he have to retreat to find someplace safe so he can revert and relax for a time? I don't know. All viable options, all interesting ideas.
Maybe someday we'll find out. Here's a question from Scurvy Pirate Hog. Ian, I have to ask, you brought up how cheese would become a dark chow, and that cream has hidden intentions in the past. And also you once brought up how Starline smells of vanilla scent. So, is Starline secretly Cream's father? What are you not telling us, Ian?
Well, I mean, we haven't seen anything that denies it.
Yeah.
And for everyone who speculated that Cream's father's dead, I mean, that still makes you right.
Dang, son. Have you ever seen Cream and Starline in the same place? I'm scared. Scruffy Matt has a question. Maybe he will save us from this one. How would a confrontation between the Iron Queen and the Deadly Six go down? Can we assume the Deadly Six would probably come out ahead with their numbers and brute strength? What about if it came down to a battle of competing technomagics?
That is a fun question, because you have to ask, what is the nature of the Iron Queen's technomancy? Like, how is she able to take control of robots and, more importantly, build constructs of stuff that isn't necessarily electronically active? And is it stronger than the Zeddy's innate electromagnetic abilities? Because if they're comparable, then I would argue the Deadly Six could win out, because you have 6 vector points of interruption against her alone, and she can't do anything to them because they're biological.
Interesting.
And her powers are basically controlling machines. She doesn't have much going for her once you rob her of her tech. So once they take that advantage away, they're still fairly powerful individuals by themselves. So yeah, I guess the Deadly Six would come out on top on this one. Even if her technomancy were stronger, again, you have 6 of them that might be enough to overrule or at least weaken the signal that she's sending out. So, I don't know.
That sounds like a heck of a battle, though. That'd be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I like it. And our last question before we take a break comes to us courtesy of none other than Professor Rye. So was Charmy born as a weird larva or what?
I don't know, man. Reproductive cycle of Mobians is something shrouded in mystery, and I doubt we'll ever pull back that veil.
It's true. We will never know. We will truly, truly never know officially. And that's probably for the best, honestly. Let's not talk about the echidnas in eggs thing. Or microwaving them. Microwaved eggs. Yummy. Anyway. Let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back with more on the BumbleKast. We're back, and we got a question from Saturn Flicky. Is the classic Sonic lore beholden to historical events seen in modern games, like Chaos, Gizoid, etc.? Are they true divergent timelines, or just coincidentally similar parallel universes? If Classic has a Shadow on Prison Island, would he be slim and red-eyed, or round and black-eyed?
This is a hashtag knowing smile thing. I can't really talk about it right now.
Uh-oh.
Suffice to say, yes, but don't look for any modern style or classic styled modern elements, I guess. Shadow's not waking up till the events of SA2, let's just say.
Alrighty then. Ryoko Shion has a question. The racing games, like Sonic Riders and Team Sonic Racing, are they canonical? If yes, in the case of Riders, where do you think they would be placed chronologically?
They are, to the best of my knowledge. And chronologically, I think they'd fit well enough in their release order, because they're super light story-wise in terms of greater narrative impact. So they could probably go just about any old where without it causing too much of a fuss.
Yeah, probably. It's not really a big deal.
And before someone comes with, well, it wouldn't fit here. Yes, I know. That's why I say just about.
Yeah.
There's a range. I'm not saying one or the other. It's not binary. There are possibilities.
Endless possibilities. Wait, no, that's a mainline game. We can't. No, that's different. Quaggle Gaggle is here with a question. Characters smoking. It's a core part of Smiley's character in Bone as a prop for several gags. I think the Great Red Dragon had a cigar, and it plays a lot to vaudeville. However, as someone who lost their grandmother to lung cancer and an aunt who thankfully quit, I've never been fond of promoting the habit. If there was anything Netflix had me intrigued about, it was that it was a good chance, albeit briefly, to not have it edited out. But I wonder if it's something we really should just leave in the past. What do you think? Is there a world where Popeye can get his pipe back?
In Popeye's case in particular, I kind of think pipe smoking is so out of vogue. Most kids wouldn't even know what it is.
Just have it spit out bubbles. That's all you need. It's just a bubble thingy. Yeah, whatever.
Some bubbles. And I don't know, because on the one hand, I'm a purist. It's like, is Smiley Bone going to be Smiley Bone without his prop? And the answer is yes. He's got the little hat. He's got the facial expressions. He's got the mannerisms. Smiley doesn't need the cigar. It certainly lends itself to the scenes it's in. It's a great prop, but he isn't defined by it. So, and I think you're right. I think the Great Red Dragon might have had like a little cigarette at some point, but I don't think he's stuck with that. Overall, I think it depends on what media you're doing. Like, if you're doing an all-ages piece, if you're doing a children's bit of media, you don't want to portray the vices as cool, good things. And that extends as far as even the villains doing it, because if the villains do it and they look cool doing it, it doesn't matter whether they're villainous or not. You want to be cool in general. If you're working with more like adult-oriented entertainment, I don't think it matters, or I don't care personally, because adults do stuff like that. You're not really championing a cause. You're just showing what they do. You know, maybe show some of the sacrifices that come with it, but If it's a prop, it's a prop.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to see Tails smoking. That's bad. That's bad. But, in a more adult-oriented media, it's fine. Whatever. It's not. I'm not interested in it, but I don't think they're condoning it by having it in there. It's just something a character does.
Yeah. But you don't want it to be... See, on the one hand, you don't want it to be marked as innocuous.
Right.
Smiley having the cigar, he doesn't particularly have trouble breathing, or he doesn't have coughing fits. He doesn't show any effects of smoking cigars. So you don't want to portray it as harmless. At the same time, it's a fantasy book about talking bone creatures in a medieval landscape with dragons and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And episodes of children's media that, make an effort to show the dangers of this kind of stuff, it gets real preachy.
Mm-hmm.
But some kids need that lesson because they're not getting adequately taught at home. So I don't know. We're getting far afield of the main question. I think personally that in kind of general audiences media, you're not really losing anything by dropping those props, and you can find replacements easily enough.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're working with adult entertainment stuff and it fits the character, then sure, go for it.
Yeah, sure, why not? We got a question here from Pig Dan. If there was an official green Bumble candle product, for no particular totally sane reason, what scent, potential breathing irritation aside, would you choose that represents the Bumble brand most appropriately?
Musk.
Gross. But yeah, probably.
I don't know, probably green apple.
I don't know, man. Mint.
Green apple with a hint of citrus. Get that orange in there.
I suppose. Good enough. I have no strong opinions.
If you, listening to the show right now, would want your very own Bumble candle, please let us know. We will look into this. If there is an avenue for products, we have no shame. We like paying our bills. We will make Bumble candles a thing.
We can figure something out. Sure. All right, here's the question from Banana Cat. Since you love creating evil versions of Sonic, how would you go about writing an evil version of a movie Sonic?
Question is, do we want him to be fun and silly, or do we want him to be actual threat level Sonic? If we want it fun and goofy, then you just take all the attitude that movie Sonic has and make him spiteful.
Yeah.
You don't really have to change too much because he's already kind of a problem maker. He dances that fine line between adorably irascible and a nuisance. So, just nudge him ever so slightly off that line.
Yeah.
And all of those pranks, all of the goofiness suddenly becomes malicious, and then that's a problem. You want to go legit villain? An alternate timeline where Longclaw didn't escape, and Baby Sonic was grabbed by the echidnas and raised to be their weapon.
Oh dear.
Sonic, with the warrior mentality Knuckles has literally beaten into him, unleashed on Earth to find the Chaos Emeralds.
Oh boy, that's frightening, scary. I'm scared. I'm scared. I like it. Somebody do it. Make them green while you're at it. Here's a question from Mobius. If Eggman was killed by a third party, either by some mercenary, Scourge, if he was in mainline, or maybe someone who wants revenge on the dock, how would Sonic react? Would he care, or would he not? Also, to correct you, Ash's never released Charizard. He just left him in Charizard Valley to get stronger, and he came back to him permanently in Best Wishes, and now he's in Oak's lab. Okay, well,
there we go. If Eggman were to, pull a Humpty Dumpty, then, although, side tangent, it's never specified anywhere that Humpty Dumpty was an egg.
No, not in the story itself.
So that's kind of gross. Anyway, I think Sonic would be sad. It's someone that he knows personally. It's someone that he does have fun encountering, even if it is always in a negative connotation. And, somebody lost their life. Their potential has been snuffed short. I don't think he would dwell on it. I don't think he'd go seeking revenge, but I think he'd be probably bummed about it for a few days. It would still kind of linger on his mind, like, shoot, he's gone. Oh well.
He wouldn't have a party?
No.
Everyone else would probably have a party, but not Sonic.
I don't think anybody else would really shed a tear. No. Knuckles would be like, finally. But
I was going to do it.
I don't know. I think Sonic would be kind of put out by it. And then, because I don't think he celebrates death. It just, he'd be kind of like, it sucks. But he wouldn't, be forever haunted by it either.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of goofy if he did that. All right. Here's one from Miles the Prower. Hey, Ian, when are we getting Irish the Hedgehog in IDW Comics? And once we do, when will he be in the games?
Faith and Pagora, that's entirely up to Jacksepticeye. I would assume that he has some control over its appearance, considering he gave it its voice. Also, Jack, if you happen to be listening to this, I do apologize for the bad accent.
It's okay. Everyone does a bad accent at the expense of Jacksepticeye.
Even Jack does bad Irish accents at his own expense. I am Irish by descent. True. I'm allowed.
Okay, if you say so.
No, I've never set foot on the Emerald Isle. Why do you ask?
Yeah, beautiful place, but yeah, I've never been there. Wouldn't mind going there, though. This also is not the first time this question has been asked. So just as a reminder, check the Master Q&A list to see if a question has been asked and answered previously. And then follow the link and find the comment below the video that has all the timestamps in it that you can then go to and immediately find that answer. You can do that. I have faith in you. Here's a question from Miggy Sawdust. Gentlemen, how come people just don't understand how a licensing agreement works? Do they really think that Disney just lets their IP get used wildly? No. So why isn't it any different for SEGA? Apologies for asking more than one question. I mean, not really. They're all related. It's just...
Yeah, it's the same thought.
It's fine.
I don't know, Miggy. I don't know. Like, some folks just don't understand how business works. And, why would they? If it's not their field, if it's not something that they've particularly researched. Some stuff is not something you can just divine from the ether, and I try to remember that. But at the same time, there's a degree of common sense where, you don't just lend your toys out to everyone to do, as you said, use wildly. So
it's either a common misconception or it's intentional to try and make somebody look bad. I mean, whether it's an accident or it's on purpose, seems to be just a common thing. Like, if it is a bad take.
I'm not factoring in the disingenuous rumor mongering.
Yeah.
I just mean in general, like the kids who grow up reading Sonic may not necessarily know of the greater marketing scheme that is the corporate world. That's what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's just depends, and then people get lots of misinformation and stuff that just spreads like wildfire. Oh well. King Toasty has a question, speaking of wildfire. I'm kind of curious about the return of Mighty and Ray in the classic series. Did Ian get any notes from SEGA on how their personalities should be written in the anniversary comic? If not, how do you personally view their personalities and how do they differ from Sonic and Tails? I'm excited about the return of those two, and I hope we see more of them.
I did not get any notes. So I just kind of put it out there and hoped for correction, and I didn't receive any, so I'm assuming I'm right.
What about with the hooligans? Did you get any?
Yes, actually.
Them? Any notes on them? Oh, okay.
Fang and Bark, not so much. No. Fang and Bean, not so much. And Bean I was really surprised about.
Yeah.
But Bark was specified that he's not really a bad guy. That he's not really a villain. He just hangs out with bad people. Which led to a couple of minor line tweaks and some revised fun interactions between him and Amy. And I kind of like that.
Yeah, I do too. I like that
It
part.
raises the question of why he hangs out with them, but that's just story potential. That's fun.
That's just I don't know. It's just who he is.
Yeah. And maybe he does it to keep them out of worse trouble. Maybe he does it because he likes the challenge. Who knows? But it's fun. For Mighty and Ray, I imagine Mighty as kind of a more chill version of Sonic. He enjoys traveling. He enjoys adventure. He enjoys challenges. He relishes challenges. But he isn't quite as dialed up to 11 like Sonic is. He's more easygoing. He takes things as they come. He's not going to be quick to violence. But when it comes to violence, he's going to make it decisive.
Mm-hmm.
He ends the fight. He doesn't, relish the battle. And Ray, I'm still thinking is kind of young, despite the fact that the Mania sprite looks big. I don't know. That he's just this sunny, optimistic support character. That he always looks on the bright side of life. And he and Mighty get along great because that's just who they are. If Mighty has a moment of doubt, then Ray's there to encourage him. And if Ray is frightened by the big scary world, Mighty is there to handle it. And they're just two buds, and they're fun and upbeat and very positive. And I don't know, it's nice.
Yeah. Ray is just tall for his age. Sure, why not? I don't know. It could happen. And our last question for today comes to us courtesy of Noni. If Starline auto-gravitates to the worst possible person, does that make him a minion? And is that why he has a bit of a Facebook aunt aesthetic about him?
Now I'm imagining a very yellow Starline, and I hate it.
Imagine a minionized Starline, a Starline minion. Oh boy.
He can't be, though, because the Minions as a franchise will never die.
No, it's true. It's true. Yeah. Does he have a Facebook aunt aesthetic? I think so. Seems like his thing. Oh man, what's funny is you can say that and you know exactly what they're talking about too. Starline a Karen.
Not only will I want to speak to your manager, I will become the manager.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Danger. Run away.
That's how Starline became the regional manager of all 36 Starbucks in all of Empire City.
Oh boy.
I said Fenty!
Starline bucks.
You'll drink it and you'll like it.
If you don't, I'll kill you.
Well, before we go upsetting anybody's aunt on Facebook, we're going to wrap this show up. But before we do, we need to give a big thank you to all the patrons who make this show possible. Big thank you to Daniel H., Alex P., James K., John B., Jennifer R., Robotnik Holmes, Samuel P., Sam Cybercat, Mike B., Dave M., Coupling Crew 128, Duas Diz Din, Andrew D., Salute Your Cat, Jay Frost, Hero of Light 13, Scruffy Matt, Chris A., Ryan D., Sonny, John M., Nonny, Jib, Don B., Yami M., Lee H.K., Lisa M., Fiona M., Chevelle, Invade Turbo Tunis, Ben W., Blue Title Gamer, Tick Tick, Keeper of Monsters, Xanderoni the Painter, Axis, Final Neil, Jonathan D., Scurvy Pirate Hog, Nimerick, Solaris Stain, The Name is X, Godzilla, Dabbler the Dalek, Chaos Universe, Sonic Legacy, Daniel B., Ava Arctic, Pedantic Cat, Dove, Red the Supernamic, Quagglegale, Chad, Professor Rye, Cameron H., Jennifer H., Arc Fighter, Les, Nondal, Sapphire Scarletta, Jack the Animator, Preston M., Alphamon or Yukon, Noah S., Kojiro Highwind, Alex GS, Supersonic Fan, Awesome Cakester, Radry, Chase L, Finest Cacophony, Red W, Knights Yubel, Just a Mountain Soul, Callum Q, Jolene B, Joshua S, Megawatt, Ty H, Maddie H, John the Real Waluigi, N Tails, Triplets Born, The Throne Awaits, KJB, N Zephyr, DeRusival, Owen BD, Dapper Shinks, The Marble Gardener, T Ranger, For Sonic Fan, Lewis J, Lemur Chicken, Agent Kaz, Starlight Sec, Wild 48, Navari, Exidel, Michael P, Ty Cyan, Rhythm Raccoon, Miles LaPrower, Fenris Asger, Pap, Delta God 77, Mickey Sawdust, Pig Dan 20, Jinx, Jamal S, Lacey M, Unlikely Veronica, Cosmic Cooking Hunter 77, Oz Jam, Shimmy M, Angela V, Phi, Spiral Warrior, Thievius, Smiley 21, Bowser Studio, Fang the Werehog, The Flower Garden, Sammy S, King Toasty, Tetsu Knife, The Might of Gabora, Steph Cube, Speedweed, Saturn Flicky, Mobius, Damien the Hedgehog, Chaos Sonic 1, Ryoku Shion, Zoom, Phelps G, Meta Mode, Danny the Light, Frost the White Lion, Agnes S, and Wheels 282 Hedgehog.
Nice. Is there Morbius in there?
No, Mobius.
Mobius. No, okay, darn. There weren't Morbin all over the BumbleKast
No.
patron
If they
list.
were a pirate, and they added that R, then they'd be Morbius.
Oh, okay. Darn. No Morbin time, though. Oh, well, maybe next time it'll be Morbin time. Thank you, everybody, for your amazing support. You guys are, as always, amazing people.
That's going to wrap us up for this episode. We will see you Wednesday for another priority episode, Friday for the standard episode, and then this coming Saturday, here we go, the end of the month live Q&A session at 6 p.m. Eastern Time over on YouTube.
Nice. I'm ready. Gonna answer some heckin' questions, man. So many questions.
Until then, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
Catch you later.
I want a Morbius movie where he's a pirate. Arr, it be Morbin time. Avast there, I be a vampire. Shiver me timbers, is that a Belmont on the horizon?
Morbius.
No tales, but I be undead, so I'm full of it. Stories, I mean. Avast ye, you're not going to be telling anyone I flubbed that, so I'd be biting your neck now. Arr.
Arr, 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 arr. It's always Morbin time. It's Morbin time. Don't insult clowns like that. They are professionals. They are good at their jobs. They go to school. They get an education.
How?
They aren't clowns.
Haha. Like a clown? Am I a clown to you? Am I here for your amusement?
Yes. That's the whole point of a clown, yes. Can they do anything? They can do anything they want. Sure. Clowns can do whatever they want. Can they wear small shoes? I don't know. Maybe. It depends on how big their feet are. Anyway. Alright, are we ready? Let's get this train wreck over with. We haven't even started yet and the train's already derailing.
Going off the rails on the Bumble train.
Yeah, pretty much.
I have a cat currently attempting to get my attention by ever so lightly nibbling at my elbow. Huh, buddy?
What a goofus.
Yeah, you goofy boy.
What a goofus.
Squawk so they can hear you. Come on, say something.
Quack.
No, he's just doing the slow blink. Whatever, buddy.
He doesn't care. He has no idea what's going on. Nobody.
It was really funny though, because Midna is super jealous type.
Yeah.
She was asleep in the little cat bed.
Yeah.
Asleep. So I'm organizing the laundry, and Tenebrae comes out of the bedroom kind of bleary-eyed. He just woke up. And I just say, "Hey, boy," and he raises his tail and you acknowledge me. I'm happy. She comes stumbling out of the cat bed, blinking like, "Meh, meh, meh, meh. You said something to somebody, therefore I must have attention too."
What about me? What about me? That sounds like Midna. Both the character and the real cat.
Mm-hmm.
It is an apt name.
Oh, she's certainly a little gremlin.
Oh, yeah. BumbleKast is here. Oh, wait.
BumbleKast. BumbleKast.
Okay, good. I'm glad that's what I walked in on. What's that?
Fear the questions, fear the lore.
BumbleKast is loose.
You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org.
I know you probably haven't been looking at the discourse. Can't blame you. I wouldn't either if I were in your position, but I'm not, so I have. And it's pretty rough, buddy.
So I don't see it on Twitter.
Yeah.
I don't really use Tumblr.
No. God, don't use Tumblr. Jesus Christ. Oh, man.